Good afternoon, everyone out there on YouTube. I'm back with another video. I know I hadn't made one in a while, and I was actually trying to make one last week, and it just kind of fucked up. But so yeah, today I wanted to talk about Prince Harry and Meghan Markle things. So if you haven't heard, Prince Harry and Meghan Markle got engaged. Some kind of shit that I don't really even follow. I just thought, I was like, oh, that's cool. But it seems like, of course, race seems to like be, the foundation of any kind of conversation that we tend to have nowadays, right? And so like, she's mixed and her ethnicity keeps coming up, right? And so this might be a quick video, but I'm just gonna talk and say what I need to say. So I guess they've been dating for like a year now. I don't really, like I said, I don't really know a lot, but apparently they've been dating for a year now, right? And got announced their engagement, all that stuff. They're like, yeah, awesome. But then you see these comments that are on Twitter and Facebook, and the comments are just so, just, of course. You have to remember, though, like, what do you think, when America was founded, where do you think racism came from? You know what I mean? It was born in Britain, right? So, essentially, it was born in Britain. So, you bring it over here, and it's just like, it just kind of stays what it is. But, I say that because I was watching a couple of videos, so I actually didn't know anything about this. So I watched, like, the one video last week where they had their post interview, where it was her and Prince Harry, and they were talking, answering questions and stuff, post engagement interview. And then I watched, so then I clicked on this video that was in the suggested ones, and it said that something along the lines of being in an interracial relationship of this kind of scale, of this magnitude, like, signals a change for, or signals a step in a different direction, like, as far as, I don't know, like, as far as being, like, having diversity, like, having more than just, like, all white people, I guess, I guess essentially was what the video was trying to get at. And, they had this panel of, three women, I think all three were mixed race, and one of them was saying how she felt like she said she felt like growing up, she didn't have any kind of, she didn't have anyone to look up to. She didn't have anyone who was relatable to her situation as far as being mixed, you know what I mean? And so she said, yeah, so now that Meghan Markle's going to be in there, I think it's such a great idea to have, a mixed person in, like, in the royal family, because it just shows that it's, that times are changing or whatever, and then another girl who was a Republican, she was saying how she didn't think it was, like, a good idea or something to be celebrated, because it's, because, I don't know, I guess race is just something that, like, mixing like that is just something that I guess she just wasn't a fan of or fond of. So then I was watching this other video, right? And this guy was talking about, he was talking about how Meghan Markle's interracial relationship with Prince Harry, and even though it's on the magnitude and the scale that it is, doesn't really relate to the black community as a whole. I guess as far as, like, I'm assuming, like, the UK and US, like, and he was saying that even though black people are happy about it, they really shouldn't be happy about it. You know what I mean? They're saying they really shouldn't be happy about it because of the history of everything that's gone on, especially in the US, with the history of racism and all that stuff that's gone on. They're basically stating that, like, it's like celebrating your forefathers or your, you know, your grandmothers or whatever getting raped, you know, by the slave master. And I say all that like as an intro to talk about like what I kind of really want to say, and is that like, you know, all these videos coming out, this should be a time where people like, you should just be happy about it. You know, people are getting married, great, that's awesome, keep it going. Don't, you know, like, I can only imagine how it was back then, you know what I mean? And like, I remember when I was a kid, you know, I was literally like one of the few mixed people that I really had ever seen myself, you know what I mean? So, and I mean, I get what they're saying, but at the same time, I just lived my life and just kept on doing what I'm doing. And it's like, this should be a time when people are like, should be happy for them and just like, okay, yeah, do it and just keep on going. But instead, it's like, people are making such a big deal about Meghan Markle's race and her ethnicity and saying like all these bad things, and then you have people commenting on it like me, you know, and I really shouldn't be anyway, but you're having people commenting on it saying how, oh, you know, like, I don't think it's good that, you know, she's mixing with the royal family, or, and then they're gonna have like these nigger babies, and it's like, who cares, you know, like, I don't know, I guess. And then you have like the opposing people, the opposing black people who are saying like, oh, it's not good that she's interracially dating because it's giving off the wrong kind of vibe for black people to follow, and it's like because of slavery back then. And, you know, it's like I get that slavery happened. Of course it happened. I get that it happened. I get that it's a thing. And I'm trying not to sound like ignorant. I'm not trying to sound ignorant, but it just, it's like when stuff like this comes up, and whenever there's always some kind of racial thing that's involved, it always feels like a lot of black people tend to use slavery as a clutch. You know what I mean? Or they try to, or as a crutch. They try to use it as something, I don't know, it just seems like it stifles. It's stifling. You know what I mean? And like, I know that slavery happened, and I get that slavery happened. I wouldn't be who I was or who I am now, you know what I mean, without the white in my family, and I get it. But at the same time, it's like, there are things that are going on now in the black community. There are things that need to be addressed, things that need to be corrected, you know what I mean? I feel like the black mentality, like the African American mentality as a whole, I can only speak for America. I don't know how it is anywhere else, to be black anywhere else, but here in America, the black mentality needs to be corrected like quick. There's so many things that needs to change, and you know, and maybe it's getting a little bit better, but at the same time, it's like you still have these black people who hold on to like slavery as the thing, and you got to know your history to not make the mistake again. You know what I mean? So it's like, I understand. I think it's great that people are reading into it, are asking questions, or are saying like, oh, did this actually really happen, or did something else actually happen? You know what I mean? I think it's great that people are actually asking those kind of questions, but I feel like a lot of people tend to use slavery as something that is, it just seems stifling to me. You know what I mean? It just seems stifling to me, and it seems like something that tends to hold a lot of black people back because they're so fixated on what happened in the past. I mean, like I said, it's good that you ask questions, and it's good that you understand your history, and you understand where you came from, and you know what shaped America into what it is today, you know, for either good or bad. It is what it is. But I feel like, let's just put it right here. I feel like a lot of black people aren't looking into the now enough. You know what I mean? It's like, and I think it just made me click. That just made me click when I heard, when these people are going on and on about Meghan Markle's race, and how the race, like, like the whole race conversation took on a whole another thing of its own, you know, and saying how she, you know, like she shouldn't be with the white guy, and it's just like, who fucking cares? You know, who cares? Who cares? You know, like I said, there are things with the black community that need to be fixed anyway, like just here in general, and it's like people tend to focus so much on the past. They tend to focus so much on racism, or the racism in the past, and slavery, and you know, and again, there's still systematic racism. There's still redlining. There are still racial tensions that are around that keep, you know, redlining as part of a systematic racism thing. It's a thing that's still implemented, that needs to be corrected. You know, we have things like in the black community, poverty is a really big thing in the black community too. Like there are things in the black community, like poverty leads to like low education rates, which leads to, you know, not good jobs, which leads to more poverty, which leads to, you know, crime. And, you know, it's like there's this whole cycle and this whole thing that I get why people focus on slavery, but slavery is what, I guess, the thing that the stuff that's going on now is I guess an indirect result of what happened in the past, you know. And like people, I don't think people really get that. I don't really think people understand that, you know. And it's like I think people focus on the wrong thing, you know. Like, okay, Meghan Markle's mixed, who cares, you know? Who cares if she's dating a white guy? Who cares, you know? Like, that's not, like, people are focusing on the wrong things, just like with the election, just like with most other things. People are focusing on the wrong fucking things, and they just don't care. So yeah, I just wanted to say that because I was watching these videos, and a lot of times, most of the time when I was watching them, I rolled my eyes because I was like, this is fucking ridiculous. This is fucking stupid. Like they're arguing about stuff that doesn't even matter, you know? So, whatever. It's just like, whatever, what the fuck ever. But anyway, leave your comment down below. Let me know what you guys think. Do you think people tend to focus too much on the past instead of the now, you know? Like, in my opinion, I feel like that, but do you think they do? And if you think they do you think the present will ever be corrected? Food for thought. But I'll probably make another video tomorrow. I kind of have a few things I want to talk about, but hope you guys have an awesome day. Sorry it took me so long to come back, but I'll try to come back more often. All right, so have a good day. Peace.